Hello guys, welcome to my channel, Dead Cities Diary. Imagine standing in the middle of a huge modern city. Tall buildings rise around you, wide highways stretch in every direction, beautiful parks surround sparkling lakes, and massive public statues tower above empty plazas. Everything looks polished, new, and futuristic. Yet something feels unsettling. There are no cars, no footsteps, no conversations, just silence. A silence so deep that it feels like the entire city has been paused. This isn't a scene from a science fiction movie or from some abandoned civilization centuries in the past. This place exists today, in Inner Mongolia, China. Welcome to Ordos Kangbashi, one of the most famous modern ghost cities in the world. To understand how this happened, we need to go back to the early 2000s. For most of its history, the Ordos region was quiet, rural, and largely empty. Its land consisted of grasslands and stretches of desert. But below the surface, something extremely valuable was waiting: coal. When China's economy exploded, so did the demand for energy, and Ordos suddenly became one of the wealthiest regions in the country. Coal mining transformed ordinary families into millionaires practically overnight. Money flowed in so quickly that the region began searching for ways to invest it. Government leaders, fueled by optimism and ambition, proposed an idea that felt bold and futuristic: to build a brand new city from scratch, a modern metropolis that could house more than 1 million people and symbolize the new era of prosperity. The dream city they imagined wasn't small. Kangbashi would include luxury apartments, museums, government buildings, massive sports complexes, theaters, huge public squares, hospitals, and top-tier schools. They wanted world-class architecture, something visually stunning and futuristic. One of the most iconic structures that emerged from this vision was the Ordos Museum, designed by the famous architecture firm Mad Architects. It looks like a metallic dune from another planet, smooth, curved, and mysterious. It was a symbol of what the city was supposed to represent: modern innovation rising out of a barren landscape. Construction began at a breathtaking pace. Apartment towers rose quickly, entire districts were mapped out, and 6-lane highways were completed before a single resident moved in. Within a few years, Kangbashi stood proudly, complete, polished, and ready for its future population. But then something unexpected happened. Almost nobody came. The beautiful apartment towers remained dark at night. Schools built to hold thousands of students had only a handful enrolled. Highways designed for heavy traffic remained empty day after day. Parks sat untouched. Restaurants closed because no customers ever arrived. Reporters who visited described eerie scenes of perfectly maintained but lifeless streets. Kangbashi soon earned a haunting nickname: China's Ghost City. The world looked at it as proof of reckless building, wasted money, and failed planning. So what went wrong? The answer is a mix of economics, timing, and human behavior. The apartments built in Kangbashi were extremely expensive, far too costly for most local families. Investors bought many of them, but they didn't plan to live in them. They treated the apartments like stock purchases or financial assets. So even though units technically sold, the buildings remained empty. Another problem was the lack of organic growth. Most successful cities grow slowly over time because of industries, trade, cultural history, or population movement. But Kangbashi was built extremely quickly, without an existing community moving with it. In simple terms, the city wasn't built because people needed it. It was built because money existed to build it. When China's economy slowed and coal prices dropped, enthusiasm faded. Suddenly, the unstoppable project became questionable and eventually nearly abandoned. Walking through Kangbashi during its emptiest years was a surreal experience. Travelers described it as peaceful, unsettling, and beautiful all at once. One visitor said it felt like walking through a city built for a future civilization that never arrived. Another said the emptiness made everything feel exaggerated, the buildings looked taller, the plazas looked larger, and every step felt loud. Photographers became fascinated with the city, calling it the perfect postcard of unrealized dreams. However, the story does not end with permanent abandonment. Over the years, the population began to slowly increase. Government workers were encouraged to move in. Schools began operating. Public events were held to bring activity and awareness. As housing prices dropped, more local families started relocating to the city. Slowly, not dramatically but steadily, lights began appearing in apartment windows. Children began playing in the parks. Cars appeared on roads that once sat empty. Today, Kangbashi is no longer the completely silent ghost city it once was. However, it still remains far from full. It sits in a strange middle state, not abandoned, but not fully alive. Not a failure, but not exactly the success it once promised to be. Some experts believe Kangbashi was simply ahead of its time, that China often builds cities before the population arrives. Others believe it will remain a symbol of how ambition can outpace reality. Whether Kangbashi eventually becomes a thriving metropolis or remains an elegant, half-occupied monument to economic optimism is still unknown. So now the question becomes, what is Kangbashi truly? Is it a warning about overbuilding? Or is it a bold experiment waiting for its moment in history? I'll let you decide. Tell me what you think in the comments. Is Ordos Kangbashi a brilliant vision built too early, or a ghost city created by unrealistic expectations? If you enjoy deep dives into abandoned places, strange megaprojects, and forgotten architecture, make sure to subscribe, because there are many more mysteries waiting to be explored. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.